Thanks for staying with us. So Nigerians have expressed deep concern over the lingering fuel scarcity in the nation as the situation is gotten worse. People are lamenting and groaning at the same time, asking when will normalcy return. We'd like to hear your thoughts and your experience in the last 1 week that this started. You can join the conversation 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC. Send us messages on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be happy to read your thoughts. Now, yesterday I was driving down, is it Kudrat Abiola Way, and there was traffic all over because of the gas station. People were trying to get into get into the station, and it was really, really painful to see people actually having to park their car and just wait. Then I went later in the evening, and it was exactly the same thing. I said to myself, oh, my council, I'm not even going anywhere. I'm not going to anyway. After I finish my show, 1-2 back to the house because
save your fuel.
People, yeah, we have to save our fuel. We don't even know when it's going to end. And you took the story this morning of all the updates. So we'd like Nigerians to call in to let us know what their experiences were. But I'd like to start with the ladies. How was your experience?
You know me, I don't go out unnecessarily. I don't. My only pain is that when I go to Theo's place, and Theo's place is so far from my house, so I use a lot of fuel going there and coming back to this side. But when I'm here at this side, it's just, I don't shrine here, I don't waka, because I can't afford to go and sit down on any queue, you know. For how many hours of my life will I, but I know that this morning coming here, the traffic, where the filling stations were, traffic, Dolapo, I spoke to Dolapo this morning, he said he got up at 5. He got here at 8, just to go make sure he bought fuel. He said people were cleaning their teeth in the filling station.
Cleaning their leftover.
I was speaking to a woman yesterday. She was talking to me yesterday. She just said, I said, how kilo de? She said, Fifi, kiuni, it's affecting people. And you haven't come up, you haven't given us any explanation.
Okay, to even make it worse, that one is what? There's no electricity.
Exactly.
There's money that's fuel. You buy fuel for generator, and there's no air blowing. I don't even know if you guys it's only me. There's no air.
Dry season.
And there's no electricity. I don't know how everybody else has it, except my own streets. We don't have electricity.
So, and you know what I will say about your own?
Yeah, but let's forgive her for today.
Let's forgive you for today.
My experience.
So, I didn't expect that this would last this long. By the time when they said that adulterated fuel was out there, it was last week, Monday, and I was just grateful to God that I came home with half a tank. So I kept saying, and I'm on a week break, so by the time I recover from all of this bad news would have passed. But as at this morning, the filling station that was even selling overnight, that I said, no need to go and sleep over, this thing will soon pass away. The filling station don't lock gates. So now I'm at a place where my red light is already blinking, and I don't have fuel. The situation is as bad as showing the lapses within the supply system that has been so well covered up. So yes, you supplied bad fuel. It's traceable from the source to the stations that are complaining where they bought.
Which you've done.
So we covered the bad fuel faster than we even think. You know, recovering it is easy. Send your tanks. It's NNPC that brings in this fuel. So send NNPC tanks, recover them, take ownership, and let the people know that they've been recovered. So we can then trust systems. Initially, the first week, there was still no scarcity, but there was a trust issue. People were already claiming that their engines were knocking down in Lekki area, and so people were now scared of where to buy fuel. Yeah. You see people attempting to buy in gallons, in pure bottled water bottles, so that they can see the quality of the fuel before they put it in their tanks. See, this thing could have been averted. We don't even need. I didn't expect that by now, 2 weeks after, we are still here.
So it wasn't so much, what they're telling us is not so much about also the contamination. That's one thing. The other thing was the issue of the operational cost is that the markets are not loading because they've not reduced this cost issue that they raised.
Each other.
Yes.
So the week just before contaminated fuel issue came out, this was already in the news that they were already discussing landing cost issue.
Yes.
As at this morning, the federal president is asking the National Assembly to remove certain imputations into the 2022 budget and allow them raise the 255 trillion naira for subsidy that they were looking at. So these were already in the news. These were matters that they could have, met with. But because of that contaminated fuel issue, the marketers then took advantage of it. And now all of them, they sealed up since then. So you had just a few filling stations, major marketers selling. If you're coming on this way now, if you don't reach your handle, you will not secure. The same thing happened all the way. All the major marketers were the ones who sealed up. 40 and all of them. They were the ones selling. They were the ones people you will seek you around. Until now, that situation is still there. You now bring this hardship on people, like what the song talked about. In my own area, people are moving out of the house at night to go and make sure that they buy. Sleep over at the filling station.
Yes, my own thoughts are, just to take it from the papers here, Dr. Simon Harry, the Statistician General of the Federation, where he says that it will cause an artificial shock in our economy. So we now have black market. People are buying at 600 per litre. Now, what we've heard from sources from the reports is that there are some fuel stations that have decided to sell to black marketers instead because they'll make more than sell to motorists. To motorists. So this is the problem that we hope would have been averted from the beginning. We understand when there's scarcity, then the parallel market becomes, would start to boom. And people, if there's no one to address it, to regulate it, we'll have situations like this where we have also created another false scarcity. Absolutely. So I hope that all the agencies that are that have the role of checking that these petrol stations have the petrol in their fuel stations and are selling it at the right price to motorists. Not that they are putting petrol aside. They have this information. This is not information that is hidden to them. So we have to always, I just hate that we're in this situation 2 weeks after, because this is something that we can, we could have avoided. See, when they said that activities are hampered, prices of costs of goods and services have gone up, who is going to compensate Nigerians? One thing that happens is that once prices of transportation goes up, it remains that way, even when we now have petrol in our, we now have petrol. Yeah. What would now happen to the prices of transportation? Right. It will remain the same. Yeah. Constantly, we keep suffering over and over again, and I don't understand why our government seems not to be in charge of this.
Let me take this call from Yakub. Yakub, are you there? Hello, Yakub? Hello, Yakub, are you there? Okay, I think we're having issues with our phone lines. All right, let's go to... Yakub, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, this is Yakub.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning. Thank you very much. Morayo, Sister Yeni, good morning. And then Nima and Miriam, good morning.
Morning.
Morayo, this queue, it is uncalled for. It's uncalled for. I can tell you categorically that they are fuel. This filling station, they had enough fuel to sell to us. What happened in my area is this. I bought fuel in one of the filling stations in Dokwemu. Last week, I bought it at rate of 162 naira. Getting there yesterday, I'm number 5 in the queue. When it got to my turn, and then they have changed their pump price to 170 naira per liter. When it gets to my turn, this guy just decided that there is no fuel again, which I know there is fuel in their tank. Do you know what I did? As I'm talking to you, Mario, my car still remains inside that station. I park it at the pump area. And then I left my number to call my number. I will not take my car inside this filling station. This is my number. Now, this story now, they were not started calling me that I should come and carry my car. I said, no. You had this. You just decided to hold it. I bought fuel in this same filling station last week at rate of 160, 162. Now you change it to 170, and then you still don't want to sell. If you like, do anything to my car, I will report you. My car still in that filling station up to this moment. They have this fuel, they just don't want to sell it. It is absurd.
All right,
Good morning.
Thank you very much, Jaku. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this issue of scarcity. Now, what we know, obviously, is that the NNPC is still going back and forth with these 4 oil trading companies who are responsible for this off-spec vessel that we got, of petrol that we got into the country. And then the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria said they've received 2 vessels to help to offset this this gap that has been created. Unfortunately, it's still not meeting the demand. And, and we know that NNPC is also working hard to ensure that all the polluted, contaminated fuel is totally removed from the market. So while that is ongoing, there's still this huge scarcity that Nigerians are experiencing. On the phone now is Dr. Moyo from Ibadan to tell us her own experience. Good morning, Dr. Moyo. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
This fuel scarcity issue is affecting everybody, both car owners and those who don't have cars. Yesterday, when I came back from work, normally I took a bike.
Let's hear her.
It's supposed to be 100 naira. I took it for 200 naira.
Can you imagine?
I went to the market and food stocks have been increased. Normally, there's already expensive food stuff. Like people, it's affecting every other sector. The Bible was so frank here to understand. When I got home again, they said they cannot order fuel. They cannot order fuel rather. No fuel. I just in my mind, I said nothing can take away my food. I just went to go and have my back and because it's affecting every personal life. I refuse to be toxic. I refuse to be cranky or grumpy. My food inside the freezer, I have to keep everything because I don't like to keep it. And I just slept. Everything is making people's lives.
Okay, we can't hear her at all. So, guys, as you're saying, I mean, it's just a really, really horrible
for
situation.
me. This is just so painful. This is, like I always say here, this is because of the failure of every administration who has watched our country as a crude oil producing country refine its oil abroad. I don't understand. That thing I will never understand.
Is that domino effect? One thing happens and everything just falls apart across board.
I will never understand it. How do you... Okay, now, just recollect the... For me, it's still about the fuel issue. It's not about the cost of landing and all of that. All of that is because, of course, we don't refine here. How can we be a part of OPEC and we don't refine here? We don't even refine.
This is a conversation we've had several
times. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. In the immediate, what are we going to do? NNPC till now has not issued a statement on whether the bad fuel was recollected or what has been done to the person who supplied it, what has been done to where it was refined. How can you even control that? So talking of abating the situation.
They have said that they're investigating. That much how far they're going with
what are they investigating?
They are investigating.
The name of the tank farm where it was gotten in Jegu was in the news. I don't just want to mention. So what are you investigating again? That you don't know who brought it, and you don't know where it was supplied or the places it was supplied that you can recollect. And with that big a nation that you need to investigate in months to find out what?
Even if they're investigating, should they not come and tell us, okay, we are investigating, so because we are investigating, you are not going to have fuel.
Exactly.
So all of you
Dr.
work
Moyo
from home.
talking.
So based on what the
and we can do your view from the house now.
So based on what the oil marketers are saying, based on what I read, so they received 2 vessels, but they're not loading. And they're not loading because of this issue of operational costs that they've been complaining about. So the fuel is here. These 2 vessels, according to the Major Oil Marketers Association. But why they're not loading is an issue where the federal government... That's a problem. So we have to find a way to get this... we're trying to get somebody from there to speak to us now. We have him already. I'm told that we have him already. I think is... the President Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, Yusuf Lawal Uthman. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Okay, I'm told we just lost him. All right, so we'll come try to connect back to him.
So sadly,
I know Miriam was going to speak.
Yes. So I remember that we had him come on, I don't know if it's the same person, come on the show just before, you know, this scarcity became a problem, explaining to us the cost of operation, how it's not reflecting the recent economic times. And I thought that, you know, it would be easy to sort that situation out, especially given that this will be happening. We always react, we always wait until things finally, you know, just scatter before we decide to do what is right. So now we have this situation. Like Wike said, we need to hear from NNPC what they are doing. They have already said, as in the papers, they said that they have, that they're expecting by the end of February some vessels to come in, and that we have 1 billion liters. And I also remember that they had said the amount of the adulterated petrol was like 1% of what we would normally use. So it's not something that we should have felt even. It should have just been like a blur. But it's affecting everything. So if NMPC is not sure, is it that it's not sure of where this adulterated, how far these adulterated products have gone, they can tell Nigerians not to even buy petrol for now and give us maybe a few days, 3 days. We are going to be stranded. The economy is going to be stranded for a while. We're not sure. Give us 3 days to investigate to make sure that this petrol does not end up in your cars. Yeah. Because we also still have reports of people saying that there's petrol that they have bought that is affecting them. So we need to check those places that they have bought them from. But it just seems weird. It just seems wrong that we're going on 2 weeks and people are queuing up for petrol that we have enough of.
Yeah. All right, let me take this call from Samuel. Good morning, Samuel. Are you there?
Hello.
Good morning, Samuel. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. What now about this is that some Nigerians we don't like challenging the where we support. Because some are now challenge their claim to filling stations. Why we are not talking of the people that brought this thing in? Because this thing is thing that got into us. So many countries rejected it. But our people, maybe if it's talking of 1 billion, they will bargain for 200,000. If they give them, they'll bring it here. Hoping that after all, 2 months, the thing will vanish and we'll stop talking about it.
Okay, I think we're having issues with our audio this morning. So let me take our guest, because as I said, we have with us the president of, let me see if I have his name again here.
Uthman.
Yes. We have the President Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, Yusuf Lawal Uthman. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, so we were discussing earlier of this issue that Nigerians are facing, this scarcity. And there have been 2 major issues that have been highlighted. First, the contamination with the methanol that was talked about earlier. And also the fact that the marketers are refusing to load. So NNPC did tell us that they have about 1 billion liters in store and about, they expect about 2.something billion very, very soon. So so we have the fuel, but marketers are refusing to load, and that's why we're seeing this scarcity where the petrol stations are not having any fuel for everybody to use. So what are we doing? What has been done? Because we heard that they're also investigating. Do you have an idea how far they've gone and where we are concerning restoring normalcy to this situation?
Well, thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Morning, sir.
Actually, from what I had, because like I keep saying the last time, I'm not competent to talk about the fuel quality and the volume. Yeah. But we are aware, because we're on ground, that the volume on ground is very much good. And the fuel quality, it's not that it's not really bad. You know, it's unfortunate the fuel that was brought, just percentage, but the fuel that was brought in was because of some water that was joined with the fuel that made it look bad. But it's not really bad. The fuel is good. The metal is not as much as people just make much noise. The truth of the matter is the distribution. There is a lot of fuel in the country, a lot more are on the queue. But the problem we have is the so you bring. If you don't have the distribution, we'll be where we are. But I must confess to you also, we have met the chief executive of the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Regulatory Agency. He listened to us, he appreciates our trouble, and he's doing something about it. I believe something meaningful will come out, and all these queues will gradually ease out. But from our perspective, the problem is distribution. And the management of the authority have also said that there is need to do something about it in view of the rising cost of operations.
All right, so, okay, I'm having trouble. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we still have with us the President of the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, Mr. Yusuf Lawal Uthman, on the phone with us. And joining the conversation is the General Secretary, Nupeng, Comrade Afolabi Olawale, also joining the conversation. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, yes. So we're going to continue with Mr. Uthman first, before I come to you, Comrade. You were saying earlier about distribution. You talked about distribution, the issues we're having. We lost you for a few minutes. Could you just say exactly again what you said earlier? What's the problem with distribution exactly?
What I said is that there is enough oil in the country, and a lot more oil from information available. But you know, like I said, I'm not competent to talk about the availability of oil into the country. But what I said is the distribution. Most transporters, because they don't make money, are no longer interested or have parked because of the cost of operations. That is it. Okay. Because you can have as much fuel as possible, but when you don't have the trucks to distribute the fuel, and it's not that you have, but people are no longer interested because there is no much there. But like I said, we have met the authority chief executive, and we have put our issues. He has listened to us, and of course, he promised to take up the issues with the relevant authority. And I believe with that, a lot more in the next few days, I believe there will be meaningful progress.
Right, okay. So let me now come to the Comrade. Comrade, do you have an update for us concerning this contaminated fuel? What has been done so far? Has been taken out of the market, or are we still having issues in tracing them?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Because this matter is under probe now, we need to be careful the kind of words that we put out there. I can confidently tell you that effort is almost completed in retrieving everything back to the tank. I don't think there is so much outside the game. As we talk, the major shortage now is getting the new one back into the system. Because, the container, the depots where these products are, they can't just throw them back into the sea. We have to dispose them up in an environmentally friendly manner. So in that kind of situation, there is a slight hiccup to get the system back normally. Okay. It's just like you have anything contaminated in your water system. You have to find a way to retrieve it and dispose it up. But I can assure you, by the end of this week, entering next week, we should have improvement concerning that. Aside from the challenges of the marketer, the transporters, concerning the fuel distribution, as the president of NATO just mentioned.
Okay, Comrade, I just want to be sure. Are you saying that even after you are able to environmentally dispose of the adulterated product, that this distribution would still affect what the NATO head is talking about, will still affect us, as in there will still be fuel scarcity because of that? Or once this has been environmentally disposed of, the distribution is not such a big problem that it would affect fuel distribution or scarcity?
No, we're having two issues on ground. The first one is about this unfortunate contamination of the product that they are distributing. That's one aspect of it. It's not within our own control. It's with the government and the marketers. But we have our own issue on ground. And this issue has been lingering up for quite a while. Our petroleum product, PMS especially, is fully regulated. It's not deregulated. And everything is fixed. So the transporters have been having issues concerning this. And you also realize that our pipelines are no longer working because they've been compromised seriously. So the only way of distributing products is through trucking. But this same trucking system is having a series of challenges. And one is about the issue of the fixed rate. The operating cost of running this transport business has quadrupled in the last 1 year. We look at cost of diesel. Let's pick an item, for instance, the cost of diesel. Every truck we're using to distribute products, they use diesel. Diesel, as at last year, January, was selling around 170, 180. But right today, as I'm talking to you, the price is 410 above. So now compare a man that uses 1,000 liters to carry products and is on fixed rate of 2 naira.
Yes.
But the cost of diesel then was 170, 180 per liter. On the same 2 naira as the freight rate, is still carrying that same product to the same distance at the rate of the cost of 410 naira per liter for the diesel he's using. It's a common sense matter. It's not skyrocket matter. So look at it. How will a businessman operate in that sense? That's number one. But our major concern is not about the transporter per se, because I won't speak for them, I won't defend them. But I need to defend my members. My members have been on the same salary scale since 2017. So how do we justify that? We've been crying over this. A tanker driver will drive from Lagos. All of us are comfortable in our different houses, under AC. We don't know how these ACs are powered. The lights are powered. Factories are powered.
All right, let me throw a few more questions. Comrade, I have a question for you, but let me let the other ladies do that in.
So I like that you have raised the issues of, salary, non-increment of salaries of NUPEG members. What is government saying to you? Because I want to believe that you're not just announcing these issues now, that you have been deliberating with government. What exactly are they saying?
The problem is that nobody's talking about it. And our problem is, if we are not in the oil and gas, we can engage our employer directly, and general public will not have any impact or feeling about it. But our product, the products that we deal with, has a lot to do with socio-economic situation of the country. So anything we do impacted on the society as well, the general public as well. And that's why we always raise alarm and always crave the indulgence of the general public that, please, we need to do this. It is not because we have pleasure in doing it. Imagine the number of times we have given warning concerning this, and we have not been able to go on it because of our consideration for the general public.
Comrade, let me ask you this question, because I'm so happy that we are here. Now, this issue of subsidy, regulation versus deregulation, many have argued that we don't have money to continue paying subsidy. Now, if we remove subsidy where we let the market forces apply, such that they don't have these fixed rates for these transport marketers, where market forces determine, okay, how much am I paying the transporters based on what their cost, whatever I'm paying them is cost reflective. Now, you're complaining that you've not been paid salary. The government will say, where am I going to get the money from? I'm still paying subsidy. I can't pay you more salary because I'm still paying subsidy. And if and what's that label? Ali Baba wants to say carry placard. The first people he goes to is NUPEG, because the labor will say, we are going to protest this removal of subsidy. And they come to you, and once NUPEG shuts down, the whole country shuts down. So, therefore, let me come to you now asking, since you're still complaining about salary and all that, what do you think concerning the subsidy? Do you agree that we should take it off so that market forces will apply and you can get your pay as you expected? Or should we continue to pay subsidy and hope that money will just show up somewhere and they can increase your salary?
This matter has been on ground for quite a while. And Labour and the union are just being blackmailed unnecessarily for the misgovernance in this country for several years. It is not labor that manages the refineries. It is not labor. It is the government. It is not labor that promised that they are going to revive the...
Hello, sir. Please connect him back. We have to answer this question.
Refinery do not arise. Government must do its own bit, its own responsibility. Okay. They owe the general public the responsibility of taking care of their welfare. We owe our member responsibility to take care of their conditions of work. Issue of subsidy is something they need to engage labor, because we cannot continue to sacrifice our members on the platter, the fact that government is not doing its own bit. I have my responsibility to defend and protect the job interests of my members.
If I can hear you clearly.
It is the responsibility of government to... I have my responsibility to... Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, if I can hear you clearly, I just wanted to bring in a question. So
yes.
You're observing NUPENG and NLC now of any blame in this, because they are just protesting, saying that government has a duty to provide for the welfare of their people. So you're putting the blame on government.
Exactly.
So are you saying now that, what would you suggest would be the solution? Remove subsidy, push the hardship to the people. Hold on a minute, sir. Let me land the question. Or do you have any technical solution to, solving refining abroad at the cost of all of that, landing costs and all of those issues?
Oh, let me take you back a bit. Last year, government engaged us, and we started a discussion. But where has the discussion ended? What have they done concerning even cushioning the effect of anything in the citizen? The inflationary rate is going crazy every day. Transportation cost is going so high. The cost of food is going so high. What has government done since after they engaged labor in December 2020? All the promises...
Comrade, your president is about to go and find 2.something trillion to pay subsidy. Let's put these facts on the table. What would you rather? Because yes, we understand subsidies. Trust me, we all would like them to continue to pay. It's the easiest thing to do. But there are some hard choices people got to take. So, in your view, you need salary review. If I'm your employer, I'll say, where will I get the money from? Now, fixed refinery is the same thing. We keep going back to fixed refinery, fixed refinery. If I'm your employer, I'll say, where will I get the money to fix refinery? That would be the first question I'll say.
No, listen. You are saying, where would they get money to fix the refinery? For how many years now? We've been waiting for Godot of Dangote. They've been open only on Dangote finishing his refinery. While ours remain comatose. For how many years? For this regime, over 8 years. You can't the government cannot push away its responsibilities. For 8 years, you couldn't fix this. They should have resigned all this while.
Okay.
What were your discussions with the government about last year?
Provide solution when you are the one that offered to provide solution. You are elected to provide solution.
What alternatives do government have?
Okay, let me go on a break. When you come back, we'll take YK and Miriam's question, then we'll wrap up on this. Let me go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Thank you, sir.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Thanks for staying with us. So we still have our guest, Comrade Afolabi Olawale, is still on the phone. And we also have the president of NARTO, with Mr. Lawal Uthman. Correct, Mr. Uthman. All right, so let YK ask a question. Who is it for? Is it for Mr. Uthman or
Mr. Afolabi?
Mr. Afolabi. Okay,
a very short question. You said you were in the talks. You were in talks with the government last year. Could you just tell us what you were talking about?
What was decided?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Your question, the lady's question initially was to push it back to labor, that government doesn't have money, and where do you want us to get money? The answer straightforward is that government should be courageous enough to do the right thing. Government should be honest enough to do the right thing. We were in discussion with government about issue of removal of subsidy. We knew the country is bleeding. The country needs urgent solution. Because if it collapses, it's on all of us. But there are certain things we ask government to do.
Okay.
And government ought to be honest, be courageous to do them. But if there is no sincerity on the part of government, government should not expect labor to do its own bit for us. Okay. Our bit is to protect the job interests of our members. We know if the economy collapses, there will be no job for our members. Yeah, we agree. But at the same time, there are ways you do things in such a way that the effect on the general public will not be so harsh and so destructive. So that you don't give one solution to destroy or to create another ailment.
Okay. We're waiting for
the discussion last year was about rehabilitation of Warri and Port Harcourt refinery.
Okay.
And provision of transport system, and then the conversion of some vehicle to gas, since we have comparative advantage in gas, then improvement in our gas infrastructure. These were the things we expected government to have taken forward, even if you are attempting to remove the subsidy. So that the aftermath of removal of subsidy will not be so destructive on the poor people.
Comrade, this issue of gas you talked about, I read in the papers, they've started, it's been phased. I heard they started a few phases. I can't remember, was it 200,000 they're trying to start off with? Do you recall it being starting at all? This fuel to gas.
Gas. The same way with the other issue we are talking about. Let there be transparency. Maybe there is this military psyche still in our leaders, our political leaders, governing us as if we are secondary school and they are the school principals, that they do things without even communicating to the general public, without carrying the stakeholders along. They are not aware of all this.
Okay, so comrade,
imagine, look at the issue of the 621 billion naira. We fought for this as union. Then you are claiming you are doing it. Who are you carrying along? Who can witness what you are doing? Or is this going the same way you have been using our budget, repeating the same road for 20 times in 20 years budget?
I have a question. Okay.
These are not acceptable.
Let me get Mariam to ask a question and we wrap up. Yes.
Okay, I have questions for both of you. So for Mr. Usman, my question is, what exactly is government going to do towards the issue of NARTO and the conversation so far? And do we have like a tangible time that this will be sorted out? I know you said a few days. You know, a few days in Nigeria can be a month or so. Did they give us 3 days, 2 days? And what would government need to do for you to pick up again? Then for Comrade, I would like to understand what options you are looking at to environmentally dispose of the adulterated products.
Who should go first?
Let me go to Othman. I might not will take Comrade, but let me take Othman's. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Really, what government needs to do immediately is to ensure that they increase the freight rate, because without the increase, look at it, you can provide the whole fuel that you require for the country, but you will have no fuel at the pumps if there is no distribution. You have to ensure that it's effective and efficient distribution for the fuel to go to the stations. So as much as you plan for the subsidy, you have forgotten the link. All over the world, where either there is production or service, distribution, supply chain is key. So as of today, we have this lab. But then, like I said, they have listened to us. They have called us for further meetings. And I am expecting from now probably to the end of the month, we should have something meaningful. Don't forget, yes, the chief executive also has a board. He will sit, review, send to his board, down from the board to the honorable minister, and probably eventually to the president, who is also the substantive minister of it.
We're having some lagging issues. I can't hear you very clearly. But then we appreciate.
In any case, whatever happens, usually there may be arrears. So they will approve and stay effective from probably January.
Thank you very much. We're having trouble hearing you properly, but thank you, gentlemen, for joining the show this morning. We appreciate your comments. We'll keep monitoring and hope that this scarcity will cease as soon as possible. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll bring in somebody who has been comically accused of causing this scarcity. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.